Hey, what's up, y'all? So today we're going to take a quick ride, and in honor of Black History Month, we're going to talk about some African-American motorcycle builders and African-American influences in the motorcycle scene that most people either don't know about or don't get the respect they deserve. So we're going to take a quick ride. We're going to talk about some of those things, and let's roll that intro and get to it. Hey, what's up, y'all? So, I'm gonna try something a little different this morning. Sanity, this is for you. Go follow his YouTube page and follow him on Instagram, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, let's give this a shot. If Sanity can do it, I can do it, right? Let's see how it goes. You ready? Okay. Well, Rev Sanity made that look a whole lot easier than it really is. It's not that easy, guys. It's really not that easy. Whoa, yeah. So the whole purpose behind this ride this morning, as you saw from the intro, is we're going to talk about Black History Month. And one thing I've noticed, just in the motorcycle community in general, is that we have several extremely talented African-American builders. Historically, guys who are still building, but historically, who've done some amazing things that really didn't get credit for what they did. So first, I'm going to talk about Cliff Vaughs. Cliff Vaughs was a activist. Cliff Vaughs was a filmmaker, producer. Cliff Vaughs did a lot of really cool things. He's associated with the movie Easy Rider. I think most people in the motorcycle community know about the movie Easy Rider. What you may not know is that Cliff Vaughs, another very well-known African-American builder, built the two iconic bikes that really in American history, if you want to get down to it, a big huge slice of Americana. The Captain America bike and the Billy bike were the design and brainchild of Cliff Vaughs. Now, they were built by Cliff Vaughs and a man named Ben Hardy. We'll talk about Ben Hardy in a minute. But anyway, Cliff Vaughs was well known for his designs. He was an innovator. He was the kind of guy that he did a lot of cool things. Cliff Vaughs did. If you watch, Discovery Channel made a little docu-film with Jesse James. It's called The History of the Chopper. He actually talks to Cliff Vaughs in that documentary, and they talk about Ben Hardy. Really cool. Check it out if you get to. I think you can get it on discovery.com, or you can look it up and find it. But so Cliff Vaughs, and the next man we're going to talk about in the same breath, which is Ben Hardy. Ben Hardy, who was known as the King of Builders, was a very well-known, well-documented motorcycle builder in the Los Angeles area. He is the guy who actually put hands on and built the Captain America and the Billy bike. Cliff Vaughs gets credit for the design, but Ben Hardy, from the things that I've read and people I've talked to, is the guy who gets the credit for the work and building the bikes. Ben Hardy was so well known in the motorcycle scene back in the day that he influenced a lot of people. Ben Hardy built those two bikes, and here's the thing that Cliff Vaughs and Ben Hardy did not get. They did not get any credit for building those bikes, because when Easy Rider came out in 1969, black builders did not get the credit that they deserved. Those guys designed and built two of the most iconic bikes, like I said, in American history, and they did not get they didn't get what they deserved, which is the notoriety and respect that came off building those two iconic bikes. Benny Hardy, or Ben, the king of motorcycles, or king of choppers, he's known as one of the most well-respected guys amongst all the African-American clubs out there, and amongst bikers in the California area, for the work he did on motorcycles. Again, never got the respect he deserved. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hope you're really enjoying this video. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, click that little bell icon so you get notifications when I make these crazy vids. Another thing that Ben Hardy did that makes him very important, to me at least, is Ben Hardy is the mentor and the guy that helped inspire one of my favorite motorcycle builders of all time, and that's Sugar Bear. So Sugar Bear was a guy who was born in Kansas City, Missouri in the late 30s, early 40s. I think it was 1939. And his family moved to Los Angeles when he was a teenager, I think in the early 50s, I believe. So Sugar Bear is another builder that for years didn't get any publicity in magazines. Nobody really talked about Sugar Bear. Nobody really gave him the props that he deserved. One of his mottos is, if it ain't long, it's wrong. He's known for building long, stretched out Springer front ends. He's known for building some of the best Springer front ends and motorcycles. And if you look at some of the bikes that he has built over the years, Sugar Bear has built some amazing bikes. I am a huge Sugar Bear fan. Cycle Source magazine did a really good article on him. He didn't really get any credit for anything that he did for years either. He opened his motorcycle shop up, I think what I read was 1971 or 72, and he got the name Sugar Bear because the little kids in the neighborhood were running around singing the Sugar Crisp the Sugar Crisp theme song for the cereal. And because he looked like Sugar Bear, the character from the outside of the Sugar Crisp cereal, so the kids were calling him Sugar Bear, and the name just kind of stuck. Sugar Bear is known for his front ends. There are so many builders that he has influenced. Sugar Bear is a guy that really revolutionized the front ends. You'll know that his front ends because they have those little genie shoes on the rockers. If you look at the bottom, it's pretty cool. It looks like genie shoes, man. Just a living piece of history. Now, Cliff Vaughs and Ben Hardy both have passed away. I think Cliff Vaughs passed away in 2016, and Ben Hardy passed away, I think, around 1994. Sugar Bear is still alive and is over 80 years old. Still, his motto was, they asked people, how do you influence folks? How do you get people to recognize your work? And the Sugar Bear quote was, you influence them one bike at a time. Sugar Bear's still building bikes and front ends to this day in his 80s. Still a great influence, not only in the motorcycle community, but in the African American community as well. So, another couple guys that I didn't know anything about until Instagram just recently would be Austin Johnson and would be George Bennett, known as Spade George. Those guys were known back in the day as Brown Sugar and Spade George. There was actually an independent film company, Dos Caminos Film Company, that did a documentary on those two guys called Sugar and Spade. Those guys are really an underground motorcycle influence that a lot of people don't even know about. There's a YouTube page for Sugar and Spade. There is I haven't seen the film. I looked for it in several places and couldn't find it. I'd emailed Dos Caminos, I think about a year and a half ago. I think eventually it's going to get into production, get brought out, but I believe if you look at their Instagram pages, which we'll put both their Instagram pages up, they've been riding for 54 years and been friends for 53 to 54 years. Both of them came from the New York area. Now, Austin Brown Sugar Johnson got his name because he had a bike called Brown Sugar that was painted a light brown color. Spade George was called Spade George because of the color of his skin back in the day, and it just stuck. And he stuck with the name Spade George. Austin Johnson was a guy, he worked for the sanitation department in New York and always was building bikes and had bikes and had stuff going on the side. Sugar and Spade, Austin Johnson and George Bennett, they were friends in New York, and then George Bennett, Spade George, wanted to go to San Francisco for the weather and the atmosphere, the riding atmosphere. So he moved, and actually Austin went with him. And after a few months, Austin came back to New York. He talks about riding back across the country to New York in Richie Pan's America series. If you check out Richie Pan's America on Amazon Prime, they started riding in the late 60s, and they're still friends to this day, and they still both ride motorcycles. Man, Austin Johnson has been a big influence for a lot of people on the East Coast, and the same for Spade George or George Bennett on the West Coast. Out in San Francisco, a shop called Hole in the Wall, he was known for his bike called Desperado, a shovel head that he rode everywhere. But the fact that these guys lived across the country in a time where they didn't have social media in those days, they didn't have, you couldn't FaceTime your buddy that's living across the country, that's your best friend that you ride motorcycles with. I mean, that's not how it worked back then. Those two coined the phrase. They sat around, there's a video of them that you could find if you search on YouTube for Sugar and Spade, and you will see a video of those two sitting there saying, if you sit around all day talking about motorcycles, if you think about motorcycles, if you love riding motorcycles, then guess what? You're a motorcycle motherfucker. So they call themselves MCMF. That's motorcycle motherfucker. I thought that was awesome. So you can get those patches from Mr. Bennett at his Instagram. If you go on his Instagram, he's got his phone number. You can actually call and talk to George Bennett, which is amazingly cool to me. All of these guys I'm talking about, for the time when they started riding, and the time they started building motorcycles, and the time they started doing what they're doing, it was not popular for African Americans to be involved in motorcycles. None of these guys have gotten the credit that they deserve for what they have done. None of these guys have become famous over it. Sugar Bear has gained notoriety, but it took him over 30 years to gain that notoriety. Cliff Vaughs and Ben Hardy didn't get any notoriety till after both of them were passed away, pretty much. So if you get a chance, go check out the guys I talked about today. Check out Cliff Vaughs, check out Ben Hardy, check out Sugar Bear. I'll have Sugar Bear's website in the descriptions. Check out Austin Brown Sugar Johnson, or Austin Shovelhead Johnson now is what he has it on his Instagram. And check out George Bennett, Mr. Spade George. Man, look at the stuff they have to offer. Look at who they are and about their life, and just check it out. Good pieces of motorcycle history you don't hear much about. Hey, what's up, y'all? I just want to say thanks for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, I hope you learned something. You know, some of the guys that I talked about still are not getting the props they deserve today. So, hey, Google those guys, check them out, go check out their Instagram pages. Just see what I'm talking about. If you get a chance, give Austin Johnson and George Bennett a shout out on Instagram. Tell them Big Smitty sent you. Those guys are still doing cool stuff. Just a little piece of history, a biker history that really doesn't get talked about much today. So I want to tell you guys, as I said before, thanks for watching. I want you to have a great day. Let's try not to be assholes to each other, and I'll see y'all next time.